The start of Season 2 with the Pittsburgh Steelers has not gone at all how any of us wanted to. This team has actually gotten worse. The excitement behind this talented rookie class has not given this team the boost that we needed. We all hoped that quarterback Marquise McLeod would hit the ground running this year, but instead the offense has been the worst performing in the league, scoring just over 11 points per game, as McLeod has 4 touchdowns in his first 4 games, but hasn't scored in 2 of those. We have 3 key injuries missing: Jalen Ramsey, Calvin Austin, and defensive tackle Daquan Jones, none of which are close to a return. Today we're going to find out if we can get this season somehow on the right track, or if we need to just look ahead to Season 3. We are going to make some changes today. This running game is not getting the job done, and Travis Etienne is going to get more snaps now than Caleb Johnson. We're going to make that move initially, and another one is going to be to demote Zach O'Neal for now. I knew that it would be a little risky, with him early on, given that he has really poor run blocking ratings. And when you look at the struggles of the running game, you have to think about the rookie guard, who's not a plus in that area at all. And when we've gotten skill points to develop him, the run blocking hasn't gotten a lot better. Of course, you want to play these young players and develop them, and there's always the chance he gets more playing time later in the season. But right now, the most important player to try and develop is Marquise McLeod, and we need a more stable offense. If we can get a better running game going, I think that would be a boost. So Josh Myers is going to now slide into that starting guard spot. I picked him up in free agency to be the backup center/guard, and he's definitely not great in any area, but he's at least a better run blocker. With Calvin Austin going down, we're also going to list Joey Riddick as that starting slot receiver, and maybe that gets him a few more easy targets. And when we're simming, it should emphasize his role in the offense a lot more. But boy, we have some work to do today. The fans are not happy, the GM isn't happy, the players somehow are. And with Zach O'Neal not getting the full-time guard snaps now, I want to go full pads for him in practice to get more development, at least that way. It won't be as much of a loss then. And the more this season falls apart, the more we're going to look to play some of these other young players later in the season. Guys like Eric Brock, who have a chance to actually become, I think, decent role players on this team. He already has 81 finesse moves. If we can get his run stopping a little bit better, he could actually be like a solid third defensive tackle. I also want to see if we can make some strides with players like Luis Castaneda. With that hidden dev, he should get a good deal of development as a rookie. And if that short route running gets better, then I could see him being an even better replacement to Darnell Washington. But we are still searching for that first victory. We are one of 4 winless teams currently in the league. If there's any hope of saving this season, it has to start with a win right now. And we're taking on the Jets in Game 5. TJ Watt does have 9.5 sacks on this season. He's been our best player this year. It's time for the offense to step it up, though. Hopefully we can start to run the ball a bit better. So this is the first drive of the game then. Travis Etienne, he gets the start at running back. And already we're seeing some pretty good emphasis and consistency. Caleb Johnson then checks in to gain 7. I'm seeing Johnson on the field here on 3rd and 3. I don't know if there's an injury as McLeod gets chased down and sacked. And now he's down. That's the last thing we need in Season 2. Marquise McLeod, he's on the sideline. We'll have to see if this ends up being at all serious. And we got back spasms, but high risk of injury. So I guess we'll play some Marcus Mariota. And perhaps you're wondering, what does the Marcus Mariota offense look like? We're 0-4. Maybe seeing something completely different's good for us. Well, Etienne, he gets nothing on the edge. So a couple changes then. We have Joey Riddick in the slot, Roman Wilson in the game. Here goes Mariota, deep and incomplete, intended for Wilson. He was covered by Sauce Gardner. I'm not sure what the expectation could have been there. Marquise McLeod, he's back in the game now as we enter the second half, and we just not seeing a single successful play. Play fake and a good throw. It's Wilson. He gets away and takes off past everybody. A sudden 65-yard touchdown. Been waiting for anything that impressive all season. Nice quick decision by Marquise McLeod, giving his receiver a chance. Justin Fields has hit some big throws, and the Jets are trying to go up multiple drives. Here's a run. Breece Hall breaks a tackle, and he's down to the 2. That was Eric Brock on the tackle, and with the injury to Daquan Jones, he is already getting some more playing time. Breece Hall now, he gets caught up and tackled by Queen. Eric Brock, he is right here, number 96, as the third straight carry goes to Hall. He doesn't get in, and the Jets are going to keep their foot on the gas. Aaron Glenn came from that Dan Campbell Lions staff. They're going for it, and it is a turnover on downs. The Steelers are still in it. But this Jets defense has looked outstanding. We're going to run this one straight ahead. It's Caleb Johnson. Gives the offense some more room, and now look who it is again, everybody. Roman Wilson. I mean, just being able to convert simple plays right now will catch my attention. Here's Etienne to the outside, unable to get far, and now a late flag. Illegal block in the back. Come on, Joey Riddick. I'm also waiting to see a big play from Joey Riddick. Like, where is that 95 speed giving defense all kinds of problems? Here's McLeod. Wilson got away from the defender and nearly a first down. I'm starting to like what I'm seeing here from Roman Wilson today. 3rd down and 1. McLeod. Oh my God, this is awful. Same situation the Jets were in earlier. 3rd and inches. Can they get the first down at least? It's Justin Fields, and he will score. And that will essentially put this game away. Intercepted Sauce Gardner. Now it's really put away. All right, 0-5. I think we know what this season is. A complete failure. And we're going to start hitting fast forward on this season. Justin Fields had a really good game, and the defense has taken a step back this season, no doubt about it. On the ground, Breece Hall, 85 yards, just 29 for Travis Etienne, and there was no getting on the edge against this Jets defense. But you know what? Roman Wilson looked good. Yeah, and I think one thing I want to do today is deprioritize the gameplay aspect of this series. And what I mean by that is to not only watch the games a little bit less, but not get into the super simming and just sim kind of game by game and look at some that way. First of all, we're 0-5, so the season's really not going anywhere. But the other thing is that it's just not a strength of this title. The gameplay quality in slow sim this year is much lower than we've seen it in these rebuild franchises. And there's some things wrong, I think, in Super Sim as well when we're continuing to go through these games where we're having like 90 total plays run or barely 100. I've increased the quarter length and it hasn't even helped. So I think it's a good time to emphasize more of the rebuild part of these series, especially in a bad season like this. Making changes throughout the year, editing the roster and depth chart, of course, but maybe not watching nearly as much. Let's check our newest injury now. Derek Harmon is now the latest to suffer a torn labrum, and we are currently down 4 starters, 3 on defense. We get the first mock draft this week, mock draft 1, and right now we're projected to pick number 2 in this year's class. If this ends up holding, we're going to have the chance to take one of the top edge rushers in the class. If we look at where those blue chip talents are, it looks like we have 3 edge rushers, a couple quarterbacks, defensive tackle, edge, and then a receiver, all in the top 8. And not all these players are likely to be blue chip players, but some of them should be. I don't believe I went over my scouts in the last episode, but here is the focus. 3-star national scout focused on edge rushers. Highsmith and Watt are 2 good veterans. I'd like to find that next great edge rusher in this class sets up well for it, especially if we end up picking that high. Defensive tackle is next. It's a strength of this class, and there were a lot of really good defensive tackles in the Southeast region. But then tight end, defensive tackle in the Central, and then safety are the other scouts. Now, the offense is looking terrible, so we may have to emphasize those positions with our focus players and private workouts in the offseason. And we're upgrading Zach O'Neal this week. First week on the bench, and +3 run block. That's where he needs to grow as a player. And the morale being where it is right now for the entire team isn't helping things. So we get the Carolina Panthers now, a Thursday night game. Neither team has played very well this season. It's 2 of the worst offenses, and I'm not going to make anybody watch any plays from this game. I think this is the very first game I'm just going to simulate to the following week. And look at that. The Pittsburgh Steelers have found a way to win. It took overtime. A Chris Boswell field goal gave us our first win of Season 2. We outgained Carolina 401 to 257. 46 pass attempts for Marquise McLeod, 284 yards, but only a 6.2 yards per attempt. Still, this seems like a positive shift. 16 carries, 68 yards for Travis Etienne as the lead running back. McLeod did run in a touchdown in this game. And then at receiver, DK Metcalf had 6 catches for 75. Joey Riddick scored a touchdown, I believe the first of his career. Roman Wilson gave us 52 yards on 3 catches, as I want to continue to see if he can boost this offense. Keanu Benton had a huge game, and TJ Watt continues to put together multi-sack performances. Peyton Wilson with a sack and a half. So we're not going to be winless this season. This is a nice week. And this game featured 124 plays run, a much better overall game length. But there is no escaping the injuries this season, and Zach Frazier is the latest to go down. We're going to get Jalen Ramsey back, that's a plus, but now we lose our best, most complete offensive lineman to an ankle injury. Our backup center has been playing guard, and no, I'm not playing Broderick Jones at center. But I have to do something. I have one kind of ridiculous idea, but I think it's at least plausible. What if we just swap McGarry and Zach O'Neal, our left guard and our right tackle? O'Neal has the athleticism you could see working out at tackle, and he's just a better pass protector. Whereas McGarry seems to play like a guard, but he's a tackle. It's worth a shot, right? Because the alternative would have been trying McGarry at guard and then just playing Braxton Jones when that already seems like it has a limited, ceiling for us, and Jones isn't in the long-term plans as much. So without Zach Frazier, this might be the experiment that we just need to try, and it gets O'Neal back out there. Just got the run block boost, so that's a positive, and maybe morale's in a better spot after actually scoring a victory. No, it's still the same. We get the Falcons next, another team that is under 500, relying a lot on their offense. Their defense hasn't graded well. Maybe it's a chance for us to raise this scoring average above 12.6. Well, would you look at that? A 38-22 win. Who knew we could even score that many points without it taking 3 weeks? 398 yards of offense. Defense, again, back-to-back games, they're in great form. Marquise McLeod just had a 5-touchdown performance, easily the most impressive game of his rookie career. And then Michael Penix gets sacked 7 times. It's like a completely different team now. ETN, 77 yards and a very healthy average. Looks like we held Bijan Robinson in check. And then McLeod even ran 7 times on his own. That's feeling a little bit excessive. What is Jalen Coker doing with a 3-touchdown performance? Metcalf found the end zone, and our 5th score, where's that one hiding? Luis Castaneda. See, these are the kinds of games I wish we could watch, but I don't think Madden's capable of doing it right now. 4 sacks for TJ Watt. We're just going to see him break the sack record. It's going to be untouchable when he's done with it. Joey Porter picks up an INT. We're not even halfway through the season, and TJ Watt's at 17.5. There's nothing I can do about it. It's the way Madden is. Myles Garrett's at 14. Jared Verse is at 10. But the overpowered player of the year looks to be TJ Watt, who's on like a 40-sack pace. Can't have a week without an injury, though. We lose another player, Troy Fautanu. Missing 2 pieces now of the offensive line. Looks like Calvin Austin is about to come off the injury report, but we still have 4 players down. We just had Marquise McLeod and TJ Watt get named AFC Players of the Week. We're 2-5 now. I am looking to make a trade right now with the Philadelphia Eagles, and they will not take this deal. I thought they would. I'm trying to send them Jonnu Smith while Dallas Goedert is out for them, and pick up Miles Hinton and a 6th-round pick in return. I'm actually impressed they didn't just take that deal. So we're going to get the deal done for just a 6th-round pick then. Smith is a veteran tight end. I was going to move him at the deadline anyway, but I wanted the roster spot opened up because of all these injuries, and then we'll acquire a 6th-round pick. And I think in this game, more than many other Maddens, those late-round picks have a lot of value. You just have to look back at our first draft class in the series and see what I was able to do with some of those late-rounders. I think there are a lot of gems you're going to be able to come across. Players like Luis Castaneda. I'm not going to sell you on the idea that he's going to be this star starting tight end, but he was nearly the last pick of the draft. He's a hidden dev player who can run block. He's a good tight end 2 or 3, and with his hidden development, maybe he develops into more than that. And he's on a 4-year low-cost contract. So being able to get role players with those picks is a huge boost, and it seems more doable in this game. The possession upgrade gets his short route running a little bit better, and it opens up possible playing time now down the stretch, trading Jonnu Smith that he could see the field more. And it looks like we have our first couple dev traits revealed this season. So, Marquise McLeod. He is going to check in with star development, strong arm archetype. Short accuracy has gotten the greatest boost so far. So I'd like to go into improviser, I think for the 2nd time upgrading him. And get throw accuracy medium, so that's going to get caught up a little bit. But then short accuracy gets a 2-point boost. The accuracies are already in a really good spot. I would like to get a little bit more into those secondary ratings. Things like throw under pressure, hoping we get awareness jumps as well. But good to see already that's gotten a lot of refinement. And the same is true then for Zach O'Neal, who is our 2nd higher than normal dev offensive lineman. And he's now had a couple of, he's had a 1 start in at tackle. They didn't credit him with a sack given up, so that's a positive. Oh, and I completely missed the fact that Joey Riddick has superstar development. Now, if we want him to hold on to that, we might want to get him going a bit more in his rookie season. 317 yards and 1 touchdown so far. His production, I think, has been decent this season, and I think the pace he's on should put him in the ballpark of 800 or 900 yards, which I hope would hold his superstar for at least another season. We're going to look to bring back Andres Pete with all the offensive line injuries that have been adding up. And we look to see if we can stay hot. With a 2-game winning streak, we take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And how about that? It's 3 consecutive wins for the Pittsburgh Steelers going into the trade deadline. The defense has been amazing these last 3 weeks. We're holding teams to under 300 yards of offense. We just sacked Joe Burrow 8 times. So, is the super sim... I know, like, when you sim, you see a lot of high sack counts. But, I mean, we've seen a 7-sack game, now an 8-sack game on the part of the Bengals. 197 yards through the air for Marquise McLeod. Offense not as good this time around. Why is he running it 10 times here, 7 times previously? Not sure I understand that. Joey Riddick is the leading receiver this time. 8 catches for 84. We love that. And I don't know what to tell you about the TJ Watt sack stuff. Now he has 5 sacks on the season. Joey Porter gets an interception here in back-to-back weeks. But TJ Watt now has 22.5 sacks in 8 games. Last year, Max Crosby broke the sack record with 25. That is going down. And there is zero I can do to affect that. It is the way Madden is this year. We're playing with a worse game than we have in years past in a lot of ways. So let's see this storyline then. Set a new season goal with one of your top players. This better be TJ Watt.
The regular season has reached its halfway point, and as the team looks ahead to the rest of the year, it's time to check in with players and set the goals that will drive them the rest of their season.
Hey TJ, thanks for stopping by. You've had a great season so far. Thanks, coach, but all I really care about is helping out the team and doing what's needed. TJ Watt saw us start 0-5 and said, okay, I've got to take this 5 levels higher. And he's done it. What's your goal the rest of the season? Well, coach, you tell me. 50 sacks, TJ. Focus on sacks. We want you to attack the quarterback. How many sacks do you think you'll end up with at the end of the year? Keep in mind you're at 22.5. Coach, I think my goal is 18 sacks. My goal is something I've already achieved. Can't fail. It's going to be a difficult goal. Yeah, especially to lose 4.5. Week 9 is now the trade deadline week. And with 3 consecutive wins, now things feel a little bit different with this team. But here are the players set to be free agents. Joey Porter, he's somebody I'd like to re-sign. Patrick Queen, it doesn't look like he wants to come back. Same is true with Keanu Benton. Travis Etienne would be a free agent. Nick Herbig. Darnell Washington, Beanie Bishop, Jalen Coker, Broderick Jones. Well, I definitely want to re-sign Joey Porter, and I'm going to offer him a 4-year contract. This is the first offer. We'll keep it around that $42 million mark, and we are going to sign him and extend him. So there is a staple in the secondary who will stick around. I do think that Patrick Queen could be an option for the linebacker franchise tag, and being a Mike, I'm imagining that franchise tag isn't all that high. It would be nice if Keanu Benton wanted to stick around because he's a solid 25-year-old defensive tackle, and play in this defense, you need a good rotation of those guys, but I don't know if we're going to be able to make it work. Let's see what happens here if I offer him a contract, because I do like Keanu Benton. And it's just probably not going to work because I have the free agent motivation set to very high. So if they're not interested, it's hard to keep them around. Well, the game sure knows I'm a fan of running backs. They want to offer me Rocket Sanders here. That's awful tempting, LA. The Cowboys just gave me a 4th-round pick for Keanu Benton. And before you tell me that's unrealistic, they gave up that same pick for Jonathan Mingo. Our next move is to trade Darnell Washington to the Chiefs for a 6th-round pick, as we're going to then play Luis Castaneda as the tight end too. Those are going to be the moves I make prior to the deadline. I think we could still, end up making this season successful if the last 3 games are any indication. But I felt like making a couple trades was still right, because we're 3-5 and those players weren't really in my long-term plans. From there, we're going to make a couple moves then to fill in roster spots, beginning with defensive tackle Logan Lee coming up from the practice squad. And to replace Darnell Washington, we'll bring in the veteran tight end Tommy Trimble. We're still going to be without some key players here for a little while, so we'll see if the season still has hope by the time they all return. We're going to do some upgrading now, and I'm looking at offensive coordinator Kevin Stefanski. Things are beginning to turn around for this offense, but I think it'd be a boost for our offensive line if we could get Riot Shield here up another level, and we're able to buy our way up to that platinum tier. I was then able to buy the People Movers ability. I'm still trying to figure some of this stuff out because it said it was locked behind like level 15, but I was able to already buy it. I don't know if it just like automatically unlocks at level 15 or how that works exactly, but this is the run blocking focused skill, and we can get that one all the way up to platinum. All right, so 3 consecutive wins. A matchup with Cleveland is next as we try to get a step closer to a 500 record. But this time, we go down 22-13. It was our offense's worst game in a little bit. Same true for our defense, who still didn't even play badly. But Marquise McLeod sacked 4 times. We only recorded 1 ourselves. And on the ground, ETN did break off a 73-yarder. That helps out his numbers a lot. But just not enough offense this time around. 4 catches for DK Metcalf. Good game for Pat Freiermuth. Only 1 sack by the defense. TJ Watt, where are you? You're supposed to get like 8 a game, I thought. Joey Porter has like 3 interceptions in his last 3 games. Joey Riddick. 70 medium route running. Yeah, that does feel pretty low, especially after getting a couple upgrades already. We're going to go physical, though. 1, because it seems the archetypes, like, they just upgrade what they want anyway. Plus 5 medium route running, short route running. I don't know, you could probably just pick whatever you want there. I'm not sure the reasoning behind any of this. I got what I wanted, though. Elijah Chapman is one of those players that's playing more and more after looking good in the preseason. Nice to see these role players be able to step into these roles. So our record now stands at 3-6. We get the Saints next. So after simulating all those games, I'm willing to try getting into another one to actually see this team on the field again. I do think it's important if you're going to play slow sim in any capacity to not use any play sheets. I was seeing a lot of weird formations and plays that I don't have in my game plan being used because I think it was prioritizing the play sheets. This West Coast one that's platinum has like the near and far formations. It looks like 90s Cowboys highlights, except for the part where we're not actually going anywhere. So it's better if we just don't use any play sheets than it should just grab strictly from the game plan. We hope. All right, we're in New Orleans trying to score that 4th win. This episode has given us a little positivity, but I think we'd have to win this game to even talk ourselves into having hope for this season. Marching down the field with some big plays. The Saints drive it down, and they get a touchdown with new quarterback, Khaled Witherspoon. Remember, the Saints took an outstanding edge rusher, number 1 overall, followed that up with their quarterback in round 2 instead. Here they are at 4-5. Meanwhile, the 3-6 Steelers getting to work at the 22. Marquise McLeod. That wasn't great. Ahead to 3rd and 6, 2 receivers on the field. Play action, they bite, but dumped outside. ETN not going to get it. Moving ahead to our next possession. Ball at the 41. And it's McLeod back to throw. A catch from Metcalf. Handoff going to ETN. Breaks 1 tackle and gets 4. Luis Castaneda is in the game, helping lead the way. It's ETN. Here he is. Do I really need to circle him? No, but I like breaking out the telestrator. Castaneda's going to lead the way, put a linebacker on the ground, and open up that big running opportunity. McLeod again throwing and steps up to find the open man, Calvin Austin. Castaneda now on the end of the line, a true tight end this time. But McLeod throws it his way. That's a nice gain of 8. I like how much we're talking about this 7th round tight end as ETN gets stuffed. Can McLeod keep it moving against the pressure? It's DK Metcalf, touchdown Pittsburgh. I'm kind of interested in just seeing another team's rookie quarterback and how they perform. That's always been a part of slow sim for me, is knowing that it's an even playing field, and being able to scout this way is nice. Because you can see the way various players play and how good certain teams are in certain aspects. Down goes Witherspoon. It's Peyton Wilson. 3rd down and 18. They concede defeat. Nice drive. Jalen Coker getting some more catches. He had a 3-touchdown performance earlier. This is turning into a nice little drive. We're chewing up some time. This began back at the 6-yard line. This is going to be a run. Bouncing is ETN, getting 3. Yeah, I'm not seeing Calvin Austin out there, as McLeod's going to throw over the middle, but it's incomplete for Freiermuth. It'll be a long field goal from here. Perhaps we could still hit one. But against the heavy pressure, just getting that ball out is key. Incomplete or not. Indoors from 54, Chris Boswell. Used to the swirling conditions inside of what used to be a stadium named after a ketchup company. The kick is good. This feels like I'm recording an old episode of the Browns, Buccaneers, or Cardinals franchise. Although those games played way better on the field. I have to say that. That's Witherspoon taking off. But the way this episode's playing out reminds me of those series. Holding up in protection, getting it to the open man. A lot of space down to the 20-yard line. The keeper now, Witherspoon inside the 15. He's got the first. Another keeper, this time Joey Porter's there with a good tackle. Saints doing a good job of running some clock down here, but then they call the timeout, which I kind of get. I would have called it with 35 seconds left, though, instead. You don't need all of that remaining. 2nd and goal. Witherspoon fires. Touchdown. Jawan Johnson. Saints back on top. You know, one of my favorite parts of the playbook to edit is first of all, why are touchbacks not going out to the 35? Do they have the kickoff and touchback rules wrong? This is Marquise McLeod stepping up. Oh, that was bad. Intercepted. I love editing the 2-minute offense because it's all just my favorite, downfield passing plays. But now we just gave him the ball. Intercepted Patrick Stewart. We got it right back. And it all works out well. We're in plus territory. 10 seconds left. Here's your one setup play to Coker. And timeout. Boswell, 55 yards this time. And no good. He missed it to the right. Dare I say we may have a good game this time around. In plus territory. Man, there's always so much pressure on McLeod. And it seemed that Witherspoon had some really good pockets to throw from on their side. But there we go, Freiermuth. Back to pass. Throwing a laser into Joey Riddick. They don't say his name on the PA announcer. I wasn't sure if they had a bank of a bunch of first and last names. That's a good job, though, getting the offsides. Isn't Wilcox the player they took number 1 overall? I believe he is. As the pass goes to the end zone, we take the lead. DK ×2. Daquan Jones. Good to have him back. And that made it easier to trade away Keanu Benton. When we get Derek Harmon back, that'll make it even better for us. But man, we're moving the ball. So many of these drives are going into field goal range. We have a chance to score. We have 17 points already, and it's not even like overtime. Like, we're actually here looking like a functioning offense. That's cool. 3rd down and 7. McLeod gets it to Metcalf. He heads inside the 20. Man, you can tell, though, we got more work to do on this offensive line. I think the guard position right now is really struggling. Watch here with Wilcox and what we can do against him. There's my guy, Luis Castaneda. ETN. He gets a few. I'm not against seeing a little bit more of Caleb Johnson. Okay, the super sim bug. Can't back out now. And we're going to go to the 4th quarter, up 3. A chance to go up 2 possessions, man. This is a huge spot for us. Let's see, Riddick at the top. There's no safety help here. You got to go isolate something there. McLeod. No, it's to the middle. Freiermuth inside the 5. Yeah, if I do some like formation subs here, maybe I can get some more Caleb Johnson. Not that it would have made a difference there. Castaneda is the fullback. We're avoiding pressure and throwing it away. Would have liked to just throw it there to ETN. But now we'll spread out this defense. Trips at the top. Metcalf on the bottom. He's scored twice. And McLeod is picked, looking for Metcalf again. Intercepted. Danny Stutzman. New Orleans football in a 3-point game, and watch out. Will they give TJ credit on that? Because that's a Highsmith play right there for sure. But sometimes when a player makes contact, they get credit. 3rd down and 13. Oh, he nearly jumped that one. What a great play by Deshaun Elliott. There are McLeod's numbers on the day. 23 of 33, 204 yards. Fun seeing him have, more plays to run in the game. We're going to start this drive off with a TFL, though. Pressure picked up. McLeod can step in to this throw, but a flag is down on Pittsburgh. Broderick Jones. Here's a trick play. I throw a couple of those into 2nd and long because the idea is like, yeah, this drive might be cooked already. Let's throw a high-risk, high-reward play in there. But those often just don't work at all. Sacked. Good field position now for the Saints. Trying to run Kamara up the middle. 6 yards. Here's a throw at the sticks and open 1st down. Christian Watson is now a Saint. Can't get to Witherspoon, and he finds Alvin Kamara. Yeah, you can tell, like, our offensive line is not playing up to the level the Saints are. When I'm done, should I remember, I'd like to take a look at their O-line ratings, because I think they're doing a fine job. As Witherspoon gets them the first. We do have 4 sacks on the day. I don't remember how many we've actually watched here on field. But they're establishing a better pocket, giving Kamara some chances as well. 3rd and 3, and Kamara. 1st down, but a late fumble. I don't think that'll stand. Won't matter anyway. Saints picked it up. That was some power read. Perfectly executed. Off the fake. Witherspoon for the lead. It's caught. Chris Olave scores the touchdown. And again, he's standing there in the pocket with no one near him. I didn't think by year 2 of this series I'd be envious of the New Orleans Saints. That's a star. He gets it down there inside the 5. That was a nice boot. With the new rules, too, that's like right where you want it. Steelers now trailing by 4, and so they get it to number 4. Got to keep in mind, we basically have, backup caliber players here with McCormick and Josh Myers out at guards, so it's not ideal there. McCormick needs to develop a lot more if he's to truly be a starter. Looking to see if we run off tackle here, but it's instead up the middle with ETN. First down. We only have like 3 minutes to go in the game right now. I do like that we're getting the ball out to these receivers a little bit faster. Nice play by Riddick. I love seeing press coverage here, especially, with Joey Riddick on the top. McLeod, short, and denied. I thought Riddick had a step. On third down, play fake, and we lost yards on it. Good idea, but now it's going to come down to fourth down. Joey Riddick on the inside. Coker to his left. And McLeod has them! First down, Steelers. 38 yards away, McLeod gets it outside. There was a flag, and it's signaling to be on us. You can see down here when the flag is thrown, this will turn yellow. So you already know it's not roughing the passer when that comes in. Mason McCormick. Setting up the screen. Didn't have the time, and there is Clay Wilcox. So it's third down and 29. McLeod setting up another screen. Okay, slip screens don't work in this game either. That's 2 Maddens in a row. Got to remove all of them. We have all of our timeouts in case this fails. But here's our chance on fourth down. I thought we may get it. But we're going to have to now. Man, we have to get the stop and then probably getting the ball back at the 20. Witherspoon dumps it. They threw it. First down. Basically ball game. Third down and 6. They'll run it. Get shut down, and they can run this down inside of 20 seconds. Field goal team on for New Orleans to go up a full touchdown. And the kick is good. Okay, these touchbacks are going to the 35. I don't think all touchbacks are the same. They changed the rules so much now it's hard to keep up, but this one does go out to the 35 as it should. And what do you got, McLeod? Well, that's going to be Metcalf running over a defender and now sprint up. Are we in position to spike? It looks like it. We have time. Everybody's set. Spiked with 4 seconds left. And now we got to send everybody to the end zone. McLeod, as time expires, sends one deep in the end zone and incomplete. No flags as the Saints will win this game 24-17. All in all, a fun game to at least watch. There was some good action there, especially in the third quarter, but a rough fourth for us. And just too many negative plays, bad screen passes. I mean, we had it looking okay until we had the Mason McCormick hold and then 2 failed screens. Next thing you know, it's 4th and a mile. McLeod tried to throw it that mile. Today we look a little bit, more watchable, though. That's good to see. Now, in most of these games, I've been seeing like 90 to 100 combined plays. This time we end up with 112, which is better. Definitely in the right direction. But yeah, McLeod, we're seeing the ups and downs. Definitely struggling a bit behind the line when they don't hold up their responsibility. ETN, 15 carries for 49. We just lost that battle up front. Riddick had 6 catches. Metcalf scored twice. But also we had that end zone interception. That one proves to be very costly in the end. I believe we could have gone up by multiple possessions. And let's upgrade him again. Luis Castaneda. This is a run blocking upgrade. Run block, finesse, and impact block go up. I like when he's on the field. And then we'll upgrade Patrick Stewart. Been focused on the zone coverage here primarily. We'll get +1 there. That's now a 75. 4 and 6 would have certainly felt a lot better than 3 and 7. So there are 7 games remaining this season. I just want to see some positivity down the stretch and feel like we can finish this season better than we started, create a little more hope. I think the approval actually went up a decent bit today. I guess we're at a 51 average now. We'll see where we are by the end of the season. Where does Mock Draft 2 stick us now? After a few wins, what are the Chiefs doing here? Not my problem. We're at 11. This must be a really bad season for a lot of teams. Look at all the awful teams this year. Wow. Well, we'll see where teams end up. How many teams have like 13 plus losses by the end? But there are a lot of teams at 7-2, 7-3 or better. Feels like there's more teams at the top and more teams at the bottom. When in a lot of these past franchises, it did feel like the middle of the league was really clustered with a couple teams breaking out on either end of it. So McLeod is at 14 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He's been sacked 26 times. It's just going to be a challenging rookie year for him. ETN, I thought, did a decent job today. Would still like to see a bit more of Caleb Johnson than we have. We'll see if I can arrange that. Got to see Luis Castaneda, make a couple catches today. He scored a touchdown in the sim. DK Metcalf has 7 touchdowns. And on defense, TJ Watt has 23 sacks. He has cooled off a little bit. Joey Porter has 3 interceptions. Marco Rodriguez is the current Offensive Player of the Year leader as a rookie. So, no surprise he's also on top of the rookie voting. Our top player is Joey Riddick ahead of quarterback Marquise McLeod. Marco Rodriguez, what is he doing this season? I mean, to be Offensive Player of the Year as a rookie is incredible. 12 touchdowns, 698 yards. Doesn't get better than this trio. Mason McCormick's struggles make me wonder if there's another option out there, because I think his ratings are basically Josh Myers, and it's not really getting the job done. Yeah, it just seems our offensive line does not hold up well at all when we're watching. Like I said, I wanted to go see what the Saints had, because I was seeing Khaled Witherspoon with a lot of time, especially as he was leading them in the fourth quarter. So Kelvin Banks is their left tackle. Severe risk of injury, but an 81 overall. Isaac Seumalo, who was our left guard last season, oddly enough. Eric McCoy at center, 91. Really good ratings across the board. Then at right guard is Cesar Ruiz, 81 overall. Definitely a better all-around player than Mason McCormick. Really good in the pass protection game. At right tackle, Talise Fuaga. Yeah, this is a pretty good offensive line. I mean, this is much better than what we're currently playing with. So that was Justin Reed who was kicking off for them. He has 93 kick power, and he was doing really good as a kickoff specialist. I don't think we're really going to find an upgrade over Mason McCormick at this stage of the season. You have, players with ratings that aren't all that different from one another, including McCormick. We just have to keep looking for interior linemen, get Zach Frazier back hopefully soon, and it could be a little bit more watchable around here. And I think that we're getting healthy. Yeah, we've had multiple players on the injury report all season, and suddenly we're more full strength again. So getting back Zach Frazier is going to make things more watchable. And then you could argue that we could play Myers over McCormick just because he has better awareness, lead block. He's definitely not better in every category, but sure, let's give it a shot. And Troy Fautanu's back, so he's playing right tackle. What if we went ahead then and tried Zach O'Neal at left tackle? And if I like where things are at the end of the year, I would just straight up change his position. The defense had a good day, though. Our rankings have bounced back. We're more middle of the pack there. And offensively, the run game struggles are pretty apparent. The combined loss of games, though, across the offensive line could be a bit of a reason for that. But that's going to do it for today, everybody. Next time, I'd like to wrap up this regular season. Perhaps we can make some more changes and highlight different players, get a chance to see some new faces. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll follow the feedback and what you guys think after this one. But I definitely enjoyed the episode more as it went on. So thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. I will catch you all next time.